there, and welcome to Star Wars 1000. Star Wars question of the day: could and should Starkiller be canon? Now that we're heading to the Fortress of Inquisitorius in the Kenobi series, next episode, we could see Starkiller there. If they were to make Starkiller canon, now is the time. I know there was a big movement for him to be canon again, or to come out of Legends and be in the main Star Wars canon timeline. Me personally, Starkiller is one of my least favorite Star Wars characters ever. I would prefer him not to be canon, but if he was to be canon, then here's how I would like him, for how I would like them to bring him back into the main Star Wars universe timeline and bring him out of Legends like they've done with a ton of other characters. First off, I am hoping he is not Vader's secret apprentice and they just make him an Inquisitor. I don't like the idea that Vader has a secret apprentice. The whole reason why I like the idea of Inquisitors because they're weaker than Vader, and I definitely don't want to see a secret apprentice that's super strong and seems like he's as powerful as Vader. I don't like that. If they make him an Inquisitor, he won't be as powerful. His power levels will hopefully be at a normal level. Once Starkiller becomes an Inquisitor, or when he is out of all the Inquisitors, I think Vader should favor him the most because he needs to have a connection to Vader in some sort of way. I don't think it should be in the secret apprentice way. I think Vader could be just the only Inquisitor. Starkiller could be the only Inquisitor that Vader likes and favors him out of all the other Inquisitors. Maybe has a soft spot for him. Also, Vader could be the one to find Starkiller and turn him into an Inquisitor. And I am hoping they have a good reason for why Vader turns Starkiller into an Inquisitor and why he saves him. Look, one thing that really bothered me about the character in the first Force Unleashed game was the reasoning why Vader made Starkiller his secret apprentice. Based off of the game and what I saw, it seemed like Vader turned Starkiller into a secret apprentice based off of his power and because he was a kid. Vader slaughtered a ton of younglings in episode 3, so I don't know why Vader had that sense of humanity come into this random child that's just super powerful. I never liked that. I think for reasoning for Vader to save him is he should be able to relate to the kid, to relate to Starkiller as a child, and I think the way to do that is to make Starkiller a slave. I don't know whatever they want to do, but if I was pitching Starkiller to come back into canon, I'd have Vader go on some sort of mission like he did in the Force Unleashed and find this child that's a slave and senses the Force in him, and they're about to execute him, I guess, and he just ends up saving all the slaves because I think that's a weak spot for Vader, and I think that would be a good reasoning for and end up saving him. I think it'd add more context to that instead of just whatever they did in the Force Unleashed game, and I never liked that. So that's something I'd change to make him canon. So to recap, I'd have him start out as a slave. Vader saves him, makes him an Inquisitor. Vader favors him out of all the other Inquisitors, and his power level is normal. Not super crazy, just at a normal level. Probably I don't know, Grand Inquisitor maybe. Maybe he could be at that level. Maybe he could be even better than the Grand Inquisitor. I just don't need him taking down starships and all that crazy superpower stuff. Yes, one of the main reasons why I don't like Starkiller is because he's super powerful. In general, I don't like when Star Wars characters are super, super powerful like that. One of the biggest reasons why I dislike Episode 9 is because they turn the Force into a superpower. In the Force Unleashed games, they turn the Force into a superpower. So I'm hoping that they keep Starkiller at a normal level. And I think it's just kind of crazy in general that Vader's secret apprentice is so freaking powerful like that. Who are you? I'm who are you, bro? Who are you to be this powerful? And I guess you could say the same thing about Rey, but she wasn't super powerful in the episode 7 and episode 8. She had a little training and was at a normal level, but in episode 9 she was OP crazy, super powerful with the Force, and I didn't like that, and I don't like Starkiller being super powerful too. So I'm hoping that if they do bring him into canon, he would be at a normal level for the Force, and that's what I'm hoping for, and be an Inquisitor. So that's just what I have so far to bringing him into canon. From there, I guess his first appearance should be in Kenobi. I'm not sure where he could first pop up, that's where I feel he should be. He could be in this next episode of Kenobi, and that would be pretty cool. And it would be played by Sam Witwer. Sam Witwer is Starkiller. Like, there can't be anyone else to play him. And if there is, then what's the point of bringing him back? Because I think Sam Witwer is a good actor. He's a Star Wars fan. I think it would be pretty cool to bring his character back. And I would prefer not to be, but I'm okay if he comes back with these exceptions, because I think Sam Witwer is a cool guy. He's a good actor, and I think it would be cool to have him into something live action. He's a big fan of Star Wars, so might as well just bring him back and have him play Starkiller. I know he plays Maul, but he's not the face of Maul, and it seems like he'll never play a live action Darth Maul. So maybe, unless they decide not to bring back Ray Park anymore. From there, the future of the character could be whatever they decide to do. But if I like was president of Lucasfilm or whatever, and I had like the control of where to go take the character of Starkiller, I'd at some point turn him into a good guy, have him like be part of the rebellion, or have him be kind of like an Ahsoka, like someone that's like kind of in the middle. But yeah, I'd probably have him be good for a little while. But I think it would be pretty cool at some point, like, I don't want to say he dies, or he has like a Darth Maul moment where he's taken out and we don't see him for a while, and then he comes back in between episodes 6 and 7 in that in the Force Unleashed game, he was wearing that gray armored up Darth Vader Dark Lord suit. I really want to see that in live action. That would be pretty cool. And then from there, he has like a Darth Revan type of thing where he had his mind wiped, or he lost his memories, and then he'd be like probably a villain for Luke and the heroes of Mandalorian or whatever in between episode 6 and 7. I know I'm really thinking far ahead, but I that's what I would do if for the character. That I'm not saying that should be set in stone or anything, but if I had to take the character of Starkiller into anywhere in the canon, I'd have him be a good guy, maybe fight for the rebels for a little bit, and then gets presumed dead at one point, comes back in this gray suit and like in this Darth Vader type of outfit in between episodes 6 and 7, and he'd be a bad guy for a little while and have his memory or like not be there, and then I guess from there at some point he'll die in between episodes 6 and 7. Maybe he sacrifices himself, and that's what I would do with the character. But the main things I want to see, that's just my little idea. I know I just went off topic and just basically pitched his character, which should be like in canon, but mainly what I would like to see from Starkiller in the canon for his big, I guess his origin or whatever, is him being a slave. Vader picks him up. Vader makes him an Inquisitor. Vader favors him, and then turns into a good guy. And his power is like decreased by like 100. So yeah, that's what I would do with Starkiller. Should he be canon? I think I'm warming up to the idea of him being canon if he is like an Inquisitor, or if he's not Vader's secret apprentice, or he's just some Sith assassin. He doesn't even need to be an Inquisitor. He could just be a Sith assassin that works for the Empire, I guess, or be a Dark Jedi. I don't want to be Vader's apprentice. I don't like that. I just think that's just really weird with the canon, and it'd be really weird for the timeline. It was weird for Legends. It felt like the Force Unleashed games were like its own little universe. And don't even get me started on Force Unleashed 2. My God, no clone Starkillers, please. no clone Starkillers. The fact that that whole thing would even exist, and the fact that a clone Jedi was so freaking powerful like that, it was just ridiculous. And that's just a bad game in general, Force Unleashed 2. Force Unleashed is kind of fun. I played that quite a bit as a kid, but the story is just super weak. So yeah, they could definitely make him canon if they wanted to be, and I'm sure he's gonna become canon at some point, because he has a big fan base. Believe it or not, he has a big fan base. There's a lot of people that are against him, like the character, like myself. I think it's pretty dumb, but there's a big crowd that wants. I think I saw a petition to get him back into canon, and it has a lot of signatures. And I know the Force Unleashed games holds a big place in many fans' hearts. So I I'd be okay if he came into canon, and I'd welcome it. So to wrap up the video, may the Force be with you always.